From strong attacks to great positional concepts, we saw everything today in chess. This is the coverage of Chess24's Legends of Chess Tournament Round 4, where we see Magnus Carlsen now in the lead for the first time solely, and also Ding Liren and Viswanathan Anand are off their 0-point tournament base. But let's take a look at just the 3 top positions that you should be aware of from today in chess. This first position comes from a Armageddon match between Anish Giri and Viswanathan Anand. Viswanathan has a great position here, but Giri understands that although he only needs a draw, he decided it was time to play something to mix it up. Here he decided to play the move Knight to e5. Now, this move looks normal, but it does allow Queen takes a6, and while most normal moves would probably lead to Black's demise because just the position is so much worse, Black said, enough is enough. I only need a draw, but I'm going to mix it up. He played Knight takes g4, and after f takes g4, Queen takes e4. So he's got a couple of pawns for the piece, and the Black King is very vulnerable. Not to mention, this is a Blitz Armageddon match, so the time control is very limited, which explains why after King h2 and Rook d8, followed by Rook takes c7 check, King to g6, this explains why Viswanathan made a mistake here. The Indian played King g1, which sadly is a big mistake for the man who had 0 points going into the day. Though with this just making it to Armageddon, he got to 1 point. Now after Rook to h8, the King is in huge trouble. He's forced to play King f2 to avoid Rook h1 mating threats. And after Queen to d4 check, King d2, Queen e4 check, they agreed to a draw, which of course means that Giri won the match, giving himself 2 points and Anand only getting 1. The critical moment, though, if we go back to this position right here after King to g1, instead of King g1, he should have tried the move Rook c8. This prevents the Rook from coming into the attack. A very strong move. Now there's going to be a lot of checks. Let's say Rook takes c8, Queen takes c8, then you got Queen e2, d1, d5, d2, h6, d2, d5, e5, c3. Oh wait, that loses the queen. So that would have been the eventual end of the checks, and White would have just been up way too much material and would have been easily winning. That would have been the way for Viswanathan to score his first win, but as it is, Giri gets the point. Then into the next position, we see a great positional masterpiece of an endgame here from Jan Nepomniachtchi, who's playing Black against Vasyl Ivanchuk. Here, Ivanchuk is in a terrible position, and Black makes it even worse. Instead of just simply capturing this pawn, which gives White maybe a moment to try to get his pieces into order, he played the move Rook c8, which immediately threatens annoying things like Rook takes b1 followed by Rook c1, which skewers and wins the Rook. So after the move King to d1, we see Bishop takes d4, which immediately threatens f2. Rook to e1, trying to get untangled here, untied. e6, cutting off that Rook's ability to do anything. Rook takes b2, Bishop takes b2, Knight b1. A move, again, that is based off the threats, trying to answer Black's threats. Rook c1 is a mate threat because the Bishop controls the e2 square. So after Knight b1, Bishop back to d4, completely dominating all of White's pieces. Here White tried f4 in order to save his f2 pawn. King to g7, a simple improving move, understanding that White has nothing better to do. After King to d2 himself, Rook to d8, now of course threatening who knows what, but maybe just Bishop f2 is the simplest. King to c1, now Bishop to a4, getting closer, Rook e2, h5, Knight d2, Rook c8 check, King b1, Rook to c3, now threatening a3, Rook e4, Bishop to f6, Knight c4, and it looks like White is slowly untangling himself. But after the move Rook f3, we start to see that Black's threats are really, really strong. And here, I believe Grandpa from Ukraine made a mouse slip. Maybe this was the move. I cannot tell you for certain because the coverage wasn't showing him at this point. But Rook e2, of course, just allows Rook f1 check, King a2, and a1 mate. Instead, if he had tried the move Rook e1, though, after Rook e2, if he instead he had tried Rook e1, then Black plays Rook f2, and after, say, Knight to e5, Rook takes h2, and all of white's pawns begin to fall, and black will win easily this way. A great win from Ion Nepomniachtchi. Finally, the man who won his first match of the tournament 4 rounds in, 40% of the way through the match. He gets his first victory. Ding has been playing some great attacking chess in this match, and here he's got another great attack. He's threatening the knight on h5. His bishop's been sitting here on h6 for a while, ready to be taken, but Ding's not afraid of losing that bishop. Here, black tried some tactics. He played bishop to g5, but Ding was on his game today. Check out the move knight f4. It's defended. The bishop defends. The queen defends. Now the knight threatens an additional guy on h5. The material is going to be even. Not to mention that queen is under threat. So after queen f6, pinning the knight, well, I guess not really, but the bishop to g5, queen takes e5, with the point being, now that the material is even, Svidler, who was in the lead before this tournament, thought that the Chinese player could not play queen takes h5. Of course, though, he could, because after h6, the pawn is pinned. Now, of course, the bishop is still pinned to the queen. And so after the move h4, king g8, a nice move to finish off the game, rook e1, and after queen f5, pawn to g4, and the Russian resigned as he has no way to continue the pin on the bishop, and the bishop will simply retreat to e7 on the next turn, and white will be just up a piece. So there you have it. Those are the top 3 positions from today in chess. Again, let me know. Did I miss any positions? What did you think about these? Was there any points maybe in here that I could have discussed a little bit deeper? Hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something from today. I'll see you tomorrow for round 5, the halfway point of Chess24's Legends of Chess tournament. Have a good night.